I hope that the microphone is on now. So I recorded 20 minutes of me talking about this particular thing, doing a bit of work with Gemini for my YouTube channel to generate thumbnail images to apply to the videos where I didn't have thumbnails. And I forgot to change the audio input back to my microphone from the headphones and the other device, the digital audio thing that I had when I was, watching videos last night before I, signed off for bed. Anyway, so I actually did take and record kind of what went on with my phone, because this is a perfect example of having a great plan, a great idea, and then it not working. So I'm going to try and figure out a way to splice all this video together so that you can see that, you know what, even the best laid plans, they just don't always get the outcome that you wanted. And unfortunately, I've got 20 minutes of audio-free video, which will, it was 20 minutes of me sharing what I'm going to share, hopefully in fewer minutes now, with an actual effective outcome of a thumbnail. So anyway, back on topic. Tim Unscripted. In this video, I am hopefully going to show you how to generate a thumbnail for your video content using Google Gemini. Now, I did it once and I went, wow, this is probably something I want to share with folks because it makes sense. And, I tried it with a few different tools before I landed on Gemini. Just, it's the process of experimentation. This is what product development is all about. As a content creator, hey, if you haven't figured this out, you have a product at the end of your content creation activity. A video, a document, something that becomes useful to somebody else. And, hopefully it's not a distraction to somebody else, but it is actually useful, and it is a product, and you did go through a product development process. I know this may be shocking to a few of you, but it blew my mind because I went, ooh, I'm connecting two different things that I enjoy. Actual software product development and content creation, which is a process that creates a product at the end of it. So anyway, back to my Gemini thing. So I loaded up my updated intro video into Gemini and I put in, hey, generate a thumbnail for this video. So we're going to kick off this process. I got it to work last night. The video is up on the channel. Subsequently, this is the video that we're using in Gemini for this experiment. This is the actual video where I went, wow, we got this to work. We got a thumbnail generated using Gemini. This video is one that I actually did with a different tool, specifically around AI generation, again, image generation. So, and cool, we got thinking and we've got nothing. So somewhere along the way, stop, but I'm not seeing. This is the craziest thing. So, this is hit and miss at times. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, this is the reason why I'm recording the video, to just let you know that, even my best efforts sometimes don't yield the result that I'm hoping that they'll yield. And, this is all a bunch of lessons I get to learn. And for me, this really is being done in the spirit of transparency. I firmly believe that at a certain point, being transparent around how we build things or how we create things is a huge benefit for everybody around us. It can act as a catalyst for helping us to get better at what we do. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to put this on pause for a moment while I uploaded the file, because I don't remember exactly where the file was that I snatched, or where the folder was that I snatched the original file. So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, trying this again. Switch the model or the setting to fast from thinking. Hopefully it doesn't time out this time. That's what I get for not watching this. This is just, me being inattentive, trying to talk into the video camera. Oh, my word. You see this? Okay, so it says something went wrong. And this is like the 5th time that something went wrong. And I did actually refresh Gemini. So, boy, this is frustrating. But it happens. So anyway, tooling and using generative AI to get things done, at this stage in the game, it's kind of hit and miss. Now, I don't want to throw shade at any particular company or any particular tool because that's not appropriate. I will say this, that this is the worst it's going to be as far as generative AI tools are concerned. So, where we go from here, the sky's the limit. And I'm not an AI cheerleader. I look at AI as an enabler for more productivity. It frees me from doing a lot of dull drudge work that I don't want to have to do. I can give that over to the machine and it can churn through the stuff that I don't have the attention or the desire to handle on my own. It does free me to do this, to record content, to edit content, to hopefully make videos where I get to show my process. It's a process. It gets a desired outcome. It allows me to ship good enough. Done is better than perfect. It may be bokeh out on the video, but I've got a little magnet that's on my whiteboard that reminds me every day that I'm working in here. Done is better than perfect. I'd rather get something out and into the hands of people as an inspiration or as a cautionary tale than to sit around and ruminate and be frustrated and upset. Ship it. I mean, at the end of the day, it probably will be of value to somebody somewhere. So, this is at the heart of product development, what it's all about. $1 million, $1 billion products don't get built the first time overnight or over the course of months or years. The good ones get built incrementally, iteratively, and it's one piece of capability or functionality, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And I'm saying this in the software product development space. A little bit different when we're talking about physical products, whether it be headphones or microphones or automobiles. Different set of constraints, enabling constraints. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining me. This will get posted to the YouTube channel because, again, this is me experimenting and adapting, figuring out what's working, what's not working, and another episode of Tim Unscripted in the box. All right, so here's the good news. I got this stuff figured out. It took me a bit. One of the things that I did want to cover, I shortened up the video where I failed to enable the audio recording, which is kind of funny for me because, it is what it is, right? This type of stuff happens. So I put, between 90 seconds and 2 minutes of that video that I'm actually doing the dialogue over now, just to show you that, hey, I put the time in to get this thing recorded, which, that's part of the process. It's trial and error. So I sat back and I was like, okay, how can I reuse this particular recording just to let people know, hey, by the way, this is legit. This was a mistake I made, and I went back and I fixed it, and subsequently I did better. So, in the series of video clips coming up, one of the things that I realized, and I mentioned this, I probably mentioned this before, because every one of these videos is being stitched together. The file size challenge with videos being converted or uploaded for review and then subsequent thumbnail generation, or even better, like YouTube comments, whatever we want to call them, the kind of the breakdown of the YouTube description, and even titles, anything where we're taking video and trying to gain summarization or key elements or use it to inform how artificial intelligence generates an image like a thumbnail. It's going to be hit and miss. Now, mind you, so I was looking at Perplexity and I realized, oh, well, if my file size is greater than 50 megabytes, then certainly it's not going to get uploaded. Now, the irony with Gemini, somehow I slid an 80 megabyte file in there and it did generate that thumbnail. So I'm not sure the mechanics on it. I think 50 is like the upper limit for most of these generative AI tools. And please feel free to drop comments down below to let me know if you know what all the upper file size limits are on these tools. I don't have the time to go out and do all the research. I do a lot of research, but I'm just saying this is one of those details that I don't necessarily have an interest in, because I'm not generally uploading video files to get them to generate a transcription, or, well, not a transcription, a description, a summary description, in addition to the thumbnail, potentially even a better title. None of that matters to me. But what does matter to me is the fact that I am showing you step by step how you might be able to generate a thumbnail using a few different tools. So I went from, hey, craft me a prompt in Gemini or Perplexity, one of the two, that might work. Then, and I stepped through a bunch of different tools. Where I landed in all of this really was basically the, of all places, 1 Minute AI. And it's a tool that I was able to get a business subscription to last Christmas. And I found that it actually generated some decent thumbnails, mainly because you get to select your models. So you might want to check it out for yourself. And if you do, again, let me know in the comments, and I'd love to find out what your results are. So anyway, going to wrap this up. This is just a kind of the addendum and the follow-on from the second recording to let you know, hey, you know what? Figured out a few things, got some details straight, moved through a few different generative AI tools. I even threw DALL-E 3 in. And oh, by the way, 1 Minute AI has API access to DALL-E 3. So I did 2 separate thumbnails using DALL-E 3, in addition to, I think, Black Forest being one. And then anyway, you'll see, because I kind of highlight the particular image generation model that I'm using as I'm going through these different clips. Thanks. Appreciate it. This was a much longer and more tedious set of videos to record than what I had expected. But hey, you know what? It happens. This is content creation. And I'm just showing you what I'm doing behind the scenes so that you have a better idea of what works, what doesn't work. And hopefully you're inspired by this and you do your own experiments and come up with your own content products. Anyway, hey, wrapping it up, another short-ish recording of Tim Unscripted complete.